So, why do we have phototherapy on a baby? High bilirubin. Okay. How do we know a baby has high bilirubin? Trending. Yeah, looking at the bilirubin levels that's collected as a lab. Yes, yes. And then physically, so people said jaundice. Okay. So what does jaundice look like on a baby?
Yellowing of the skin,
Yellowing of the skin.
the sclera.
Yeah, the eyes, yes.
Maybe under the tongue as well, like the palate area.
Depending on how severe the jaundice is, for sure. What about a premature baby? What kind of color do they tend to turn? Ruddy. They really turn like beet red. So just two different types of jaundice depending on like what gestational age you're looking at, color-wise. Okay, so let's say, do you guys know the level? Like when are we concerned about the level of bilirubin? Does it depend?
How about gestational?
And
Day of life.
Day of life. So do you guys know the chart that you look at? Do you guys know how to get to it?
Is that the graph? Yeah.
It's in Epic. Okay, so you can go to that tab and
It should be on your like summary page.
summary page.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you don't know where it is, just ask your preceptor. They will like this that rolled out. That's new. It was not available to us before. We used to have to go onto Billy Tool, which is like a website, but now it's pre-built into Epic, so we can kind of see why providers are making the decisions that they are in terms of bilirubin. So it's very nice to have it built in one place. Okay, so if your baby's billy is high, how do they act? Irritable. If it's very high.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's very high, they tend to be very irritable. What if it's just normal high? Lethargic. So it's kind of like the gamut, like they run the gamut. So how do we reduce billy?
With UV light.
UV?
UV.
Phototherapy.
Phototherapy. Yeah.
And hydration.
Yes. It's not UV anymore.
Oh,
It's LED.
Oh, it used to be
Ooh.
It did used to be UV. Well, if you think about it, what did they used to do before they have like
Put them in the sun.
windows, like in sunlight, keep them outside 15 minutes a day. That's how they'll even discharge babies now. If they're like, that's my baby had kind of high jaundice. I think maybe if I was a NICU nurse, I wasn't a NICU nurse, they might have like kept her a little longer. But the pediatrician was like, like 15 minutes a day, she'll be fine. But that was the therapy that it used to be. So, but now we have LED lights, so that's what we use. So, how else do we bring it down? Eating, okay. Pooping, hydration. So, but if they're lethargic, are they eating well?
No.
So what do they might need if they're admitted to the NICU? IV fluids, okay? So that's usually going to be the therapy. Get an IV, get them fluids, start them on phototherapy, okay? So let's say your bilirubin level came back and it's high. It's above 15, the baby's like 6 hours old, okay? So what's going to be, that's, okay, let's, not that high, but it's high.
Normal high.
Normal high.
That's within the first 24 hours.
Within the first 24 hours. So you notice your orders that the provider, and this is a 38-weeker, okay? Your provider ordered single photo. They didn't specify a light or a blanket. And then you'll see that. Some providers, I think, will put in a blanket if they see it's a term baby. Other times, they might just say single photo. Okay, so what should we do? What would you grab?
The machine.
What machine?
Well,
So
if it's a blanket, it's this one.
this, that's
Yeah.
true. So this is the blanket. For a 38-weeker, what might you choose and why? Yeah. So let's say this baby is not that sick. They're just here for antibiotics.
I would do the blanket then.
Why?
Okay, well my answer isn't great.
It might be.
I don't know if it's the same here, but with Billy blankets that I used to use, the parents were still able to hold them with the Billy being on, so
That's
they're still
true.
able to do like
Breastfeeding.
and all that, like skin, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and for a term baby that's on antibiotics, that's like trying to eat and like lower their level, that would be a great solution. But it's also, does a 38-weeker not like to be swaddled?
They look good.
They love it. Okay, so we're gonna try to keep them swaddled and happy. Okay, so this is actually a smaller Billy blanket. We have one that's bigger. So we can, if it was a bigger baby, you would get the bigger one. But this one is actually pretty appropriate for this baby because it covers all the surfaces of their skin. So what, so we can take them out of their t-shirt, okay? We can take this nice little thing. I always like to make a cute little bow, okay? So cute. And then you're gonna take your blanket. You don't wanna do like such a deep fold. That's the key for bigger babies. You're just gonna do a tiny little corner, okay? Because that will give you more surface area to cover the baby. It's like my biggest pet peeve when I see baby's legs, feet kicking out of a swaddle. Don't do that. Okay?
Don't see any of my babies.
So just, you know, make more blanket for them.
This is a random question. Why don't you guys use the Halo sleep sacks?
The halos,
Yeah. Like I like the blankets so
you
much
know,
better.
you are not wrong. You would utilize blankets really up to, so a lot of places will, well, anyway, this is a long question. We're talking about phototherapy, so let me just shorten it. But again, the size of our unit and the scale of like laundry and what that costs, it's just not right now sustainable. And our laundry service, Handicraft is what we use. They're just not great. So it's a barrier.
But if parents bring in a sleep sack, then you can use it, right?
It's what? And what does the baby need to have?
Oh, if they're like, you know, term
Term,
crib.
open
Like,
crib.
they can use their own blankets and sleep sacks.
They totally could. But also, what should they not have?
You said it. Lines.
Lines.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's also in that thing. If a baby has a PIC line, like no outside clothing.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing cute for them. Which a lot of other units have different rules. That's just the rules here. I didn't know about Fairfax. Okay. All right. So let's say it's the next day. It's morning labs again. The Billy is higher.
Yeah.
So the provider orders double photo.
We'll go overhead.
Overhead.
Block Sammy in.
So you'll go get that. So this is another one. We also have one that's like a suction cup that's like smaller. They're the same light, the Neo Blue LED light. They deliver the same type of light. So we'll wheel this over. You can see this one's on an angle. Is that ideal?
No.
Okay. So would you be like, I need to get another light?
You just change the height, right?
So adjust it, and then how would you change this angle? How would you do that? I'm asking because people don't know that these
Like a-
turn.
Yeah.
Oh, is it this one?
So you literally have
Just pull it.
you have to like pull it. And people always think they're gonna break it,
Oh.
but it moves. Yes. Okay. There we go. All right. So is this an appropriate distance for it to be from here to the baby?
I think it's, from what I've read, it just says like the top of the bassinet is like technically the
Top of the isolette. So sometimes you'll see it like up here because people are just like busy or whatever, and they're like, just roll it in, and then they run out of the room or something. I don't know. It should be up against here, and that's an appropriate distance. That's like 12 inches.
But
Okay?
then we need to unswaddle baby.
Unfortunately. Okay. So it's 38-weeker.
But with a bigger Billy blanket, you would have like the sides here too to kind of like work with you, so they'd still be like kind of
contained.
and then you can use like a bendy around them to keep them nice and like nested. So we can do things to help them. But yes, we do have to unswaddle them.
In this situation, like a term, like would, like the top wouldn't be down, right? Like would they be open or like
So why would it be down?
heat?
with them
Because-
being on netting on skin control?
Because
They
they're
would have to be on skin. Because even a term baby will get cold
right.
if they're not dressed appropriately.
Okay. And they can't be dressed, so.
They need to be on skin. Okay, so we'll put them on skin mode. And then, is this appropriate?
No, we
Their hands are
twisted.
wild. I gotta lock them down.
We twisted.
No, yeah. So people do this. Twist it.
Make it really small.
Really small as possible. Okay. If the belly is high, sometimes providers will even, and then I like to take this bow and kind of like tuck it around their diaper. Sometimes providers will be like, out of there, you know, so because they want all the light on the baby. Okay, so sometimes it's not appropriate. So what else do they need?
Sunglasses.
Sunglasses. Not a big deal with a billy blanket. It's still, you still need to have glasses on the baby, on a billy blanket, but definitely needed for phototherapy lights, like overhead lights. They're not going to, for parents, it's not like looking into the sun. Did I ever say this? The last group. It's like, what did I say and what did I not? It's not like they're looking at the sun and they're gonna be like blinded. It's just irritating. And it could be painful for like a smaller baby to be staring at a bright blue light for like hours. Yeah. But it's not gonna make them go blind because it's not UV light. Okay? Oh my god, I hate these things. So some people will like automatically kind of like not undo one side and do it like this. So then you can just slip it over the head and then go like this. And then just bring up the other side.
Okay.
Some people, if it's a small enough baby or if they're in an open crib, you can take these off. And then if they're in an open crib, you can like go like this. Some people will do that. Some people will also take like 4x4s or OB sponges if it's like a small baby, and then it can kind of like wrap it around the head and then it'll stick. So people kind of do like their own things.
Arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts. Okay. All right. So how do we know that these things are working? What do we have to check every shift? Their radiance level. So using the billy meter, they should be in there's a drawer labeled billy meter in every neighborhood in the unit. And so we have to check one light at a time. So we're gonna turn the billy light off, and then this is the appropriate distance. We're gonna check, it's like a billy meter, it's a machine that has a sensor on it. The sensor is gonna be facing the light because it's going to be reading the wavelength like of the light is appropriate for the baby. It needs to be 35 and above, okay? So you're gonna measure the head, at the trunk, at the feet. You average those together, so add them both all together and divide by 3. That should be greater than 35, okay? Then you're gonna turn this off. You're gonna check the billy lights, billy blankets, and you kind of have to move the baby. Be like, excuse me, and just go underneath and check and see what the radiance is.
If it's low, would you like turn them off? Like,
So you can't. So it should always be on the highest setting.
Okay.
The billy light, there's only one setting. So what would you do?
they add another light. Or this checks if it's working, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you just get a different one.
Yeah. So you would tag it, say a radiance below 35.
Oh, okay.
Edwin would look at it, and then you would just grab another one.
And then if they're on pillows, it cannot be the moldable pillow. It have to be the gel pillow, right?
I think they actually say
With the blanket?
moldable.
I have always been told you can't put a pillow in between them and the blanket. So like a
Oh,
pillow
yeah,
can
yeah.
go up. So you can really use any pillow, and I would put it like up underneath of the blanket there.
Yeah.
So, but you can use any, as long as it's not in between baby and the light.
Yeah, there should be nothing between the baby and the light.
Except
Because
the
that's
diaper.
the only therapy that the baby's like getting. Okay. Then let's say, what if there was a triple photo ordered?
2 lights and a blanket.
Mm-hmm. What if it was a 22-weeker on the IVH bundle? Like, I don't know.
We just put these at like the angles to up against the breast. And then
And so, would it be appropriate to shove a blanket underneath that baby? No. You know, depending on the priority. I mean, if it's really high, I would talk with your provider. Okay? Because you could gently lift with enough hands and put a blanket underneath, but it might not be the best. Okay? So you would just have to kind of weigh your pros and cons. 3 overheads might be the best, but you want to see what's the best therapy to give this baby. People could argue that it would be the complete backside, and then because 3 photos are just touching the baby, they're all touching the same surface. You know, nothing's getting to the back.
Yeah.
So you could argue that the blanket would be better if it was really high.
Okay.
So just kind of have to weigh your pros and cons. Then, what if you were collecting your bilirubin lab? What do we have to do? What's our turn it on? Okay, collect your bilirubin because the light is doing what?
Breaking it down.
It's breaking down the bilirubin. So if you have it on while you're collecting, it could be falsely low.
Right.
So you don't want to do that.
Do you shut them off during cares anyways though, or do you?
Some people do, just to kind of activate, like so they can see the baby.
Yeah.
Again, I would say if your bilirubin is high, which I would not, I would turn it off for a moment, assess the baby under true light to see like what their skin color is, like assess their IV sites, all those things that you need to assess, and then I would turn it back on.
Okay.
Then if you had a baby who was just on a billy blanket and just like for holding and things, you could talk with the provider to say like, hey, or if they're on double photo, let's say if they're on double photo, they have a blanket and an overhead, just like we have here. Mom wants to do skin to skin. Would you say, absolutely not? Never, you know, unless it was like they had a chest tube too as well. Be like, maybe not right now. But double phototherapy, no, that's not a limiting factor. You would just say, let me talk with the provider. They would probably say, turn this photo off. It's okay for it to be off for about like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And then you would put skin to skin and put the billy blanket behind, and mom would hold it. All right?
I
Any
noticed that
questions?
there was like a lower